Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and The Undertaker, the graphic novel. Look at this thick biznatch. Just look at that. I said, look at it. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, let's real quick get into who made this comic book so we can start talking about the comic book in and of itself from Boom Freaking Studios. All right, so let's get to talking here. We got written by Chad Donas. I'm trying. Okay. Illustrated by Rodrigo Lorenzo. Chapter 3 art by Edu Mena and Serge Acuna. Serge Acuna is also involved in the art for Chapter 4, along with Kendall Good, Travis Himmel, and Tim Latti, and Kelly Williams. The book is colored by Wesley Manuel. I am butchering names here, and I am so sorry, guys. I seriously am, but that's, kind of one of my trademarks. I give credit where credit's due, and I butcher the names while I do it. But anyway, it's also colored with by Vladimir Popov and Doug Garbark. Lettered by Daron Bennett, and cover by Oliver Barrett. So Bennett and Barrett. All right. Designer Kara Leopold. Also special thanks to a whole bunch of people, including everyone at WWE. So this book is basically going to start with a very, very young Undertaker. All right. I don't know. He's old enough, I guess. Maybe he's 10, something to that effect. And he's hanging out with his brother, Kane. That's right. You're going to see. Now look at this art, man. Just look at everything in here. The art. I'm talking about the pencils, the colors, the inks. Just look at this, man. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is an absolutely gorgeous book from beginning to end. This is Kane and Undertaker living a fairly simple life with their mom and dad, who are working in a mortuary, the last one within, like, what did they say, 300 miles, something like that, 3,000 miles. It's actually right up in the front, but it's also not exactly the most important thing in the world. 50 miles. Okay, 50 miles. I kind of over-exaggerated in every case, but last place to have a rest home within 50 miles. So these guys just hanging out and whatnot, and Undertaker's got this game that he plays with his brother when they go out into the woods and just, they fish and they hunt and they camp out. They just chill out, They stand on opposite sides of the campfire, clasp their hands together, and hold while the campfire's right underneath as the flames are licking at their wrists. And they just hold there until one of them winds up saying, I can't take it anymore. That's interesting, considering, Kane. Anyway, Kane is the one who always seems to okay, I can't take it anymore. Uncle, basically. And Undertaker just says, you just need to toughen up a little bit, Kane. Well, Kane does decide to try and toughen up, and at home, he practices with a light, or not a light, or a match underneath his wrist and hand and all that stuff throughout the course of the night. Undertaker comes walking in, and he's just like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? And he's like, shut up, brother. And his father gets mad at him, and all sorts of crazy things happen until Kane winds up burning down the house. Was it an accident? That's not quite fully revealed here. But, those of us who followed WWE back in the day. Plus, there was actually a novel that was written by Kane. It was written about Kane, about his story growing up. I can't actually remember what it's called, but it was a freaking awesome book. I heard about it. I didn't actually get the chance to read it. I should probably read that. I should totally go back and read that. This book, however, this graphic novel, this was good, man. This goes all the way through to the reunification of the entire first chapter is just devoted to that. Like I said, next chapter, there's like 4 chapters in here. The next chapter is the debut at the Survivor Series, his whole relationship with Paul Bearer and with the $1 Million Man. Unfortunately, there's no brother love in here, unless I totally missed it. I was really hoping for a lot more with Brother Love. A little, what do you call it? What the heck is his name, for crying out loud? I know his name. He's got the coolest podcast in the world right now. Anyway, Conrad Thompson, and I'm just having a really bad day. Anyhow, so I've got it bookmarked, so I'm actually going to go to the freaking bookmark right now. Something to wrestle with. Bruce Pritchard. How do I forget that? Anyway, so these knuckleheads, they get into it and whatnot, and they go all the way up to, what do you call it, the first matches with Mankind, and then later on the debut of Kane in the WWE, all the different ups and downs that these guys have. And then the very end, right up to the point where Kane and Undertaker are reunited, hanging out, chilling, talking to each other, and then they start discussing, do you think we should ever go back to WWE? It's like, you know what? It's like our father said, one day at a time, whatever, something to that effect. And we do know that they do come back together in Crown Jewel. So, and it's funny, I just got finished watching Crown Jewel today. So I figured, I might as well just knock this one out really quick while I'm at it. Skim through it again really quick just to make sure I was good with the description. So I am a long-time WWE fan. Like when I was a kid, the only time I was allowed to come indoors, kids belong outside. This was before the advent of real video games. Pong doesn't count, all right? But my father would always say, kids belong outside, unless it's raining, in which case, what are you doing outside? What you said, man. I got a little pup tent outside and everything. I was staying dry, and I got to run inside. Anyhow, when the only times I come inside was to sit down and watch some wrestling. Dude, I was there for some of the greatest. I was there for Hulk Hogan over fighting Nick Bockwinkel in AWA, and I was there for when for crying out loud, Bob Backlund pulled for crying out loud, Hulk Hogan out from the back, and they had their battle with like the Samoans and all these crazy fights that they had when Backlund lost the title belt to by his manager throwing in the towel to the Iron Sheik, and then eventually the Sheik losing the title to the immortal Hulk Hogan. Dude, some of the best freaking times, the best moments. Just this was, man, if I needed an introduction to comic books, this was it. This was absolutely it. Loved this stuff. And this graphic novel right here, this has got to be the best WWE or wrestling graphic novel I've ever read. It has the perfect blend between kayfabe. That's those of you who aren't familiar with those terms, watch more Bruce Pritchard and you'll understand what kayfabe means. But the perfect blend of the real with the insider, let's pretend stuff. You know what I'm saying? They have the perfect blend. Also, I don't know if they ever explained what was in the urn in the WWE, but they do explain what's inside the urn in this graphic novel. Do you need any more reason to get it? This is a really, really fun graphic novel. I love this. I love that Serge Acuna is a part of this also. He was always involved with the WWE magazine along with Dennis Hopeless, and he's not in it anymore, and Dennis Hopeless isn't in this. That's kind of sad because I think Hopeless was really I don't know that he was the pioneer, but he really told some awesome stories when he was writing the WWE magazine. Anyway, I think I'm the only person on the internet who actually reviewed all of them up until the end of the women's revolution thing, the Bailey story, and then I was just like, nobody's reading these, nobody's watching these reviews, so who cares? But nonetheless, nobody might wind up watching this one either, but this was a really good one, man. There was some great moments in here. Here's some Triple H versus, the art's not exactly the best in this particular one. And, I'm going to show you the good and the bad of the art. Art's not exactly the best in this particular story. You can see, like, some of the faces in here and whatnot. They're kind of weird. It's a little bit weird. But, anyway. And then, you have some, at the same time, really awesome art. Like some pretty amazing art. So the story kind of goes back and forth. And of course there's a bunch of the WWE and SmackDown and whatnot magazines that feature Undertaker on the front. There's a whole bunch in here, man. Just so much. And they really do give a lot about his story. Like this is when he was much younger. And a bunch of people wound up turning on him, Mankind and all these guys. So really good. I absolutely love this. And this is actually Kane when he gets older after he realized that Kane was back. So this was, man, really, really good stories here. Fantastic stories. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Grab it or don't. It's on you. But if you're a WWE fan, if you're a wrestling fan, God, if you're an Undertaker and Kane fan, the Brothers of Destruction, I think this is going to look really nice up on my shelf. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.